and welcome in to the coverage of the Lee County Fair and Rodeo Parade 88th Annual Edition. I'm Dawn Morgan along with TJ Miracle. Good morning.
And good morning and welcome as we prepare. This is our, third, edition of videoing the parade. We've been in it for, I think, most of the 88 years in some way, shape, form, or fashion. And we will have one of the cruisers in today, but we're videoing it from the corner of 9th and Avenue D, right where we've been setting up traditionally the last couple years, and a little different this year because it's a Saturday morning.
That's right, and it is the very corner where the parade route begins, and we're just down from and across from Bob's Thriftway here on West Avenue D. And we say thank you very much to everyone watching, everyone in the parade. We know what it takes to be in that parade because we did that for decades, and it's certainly got to get there a little earlier and get for your check-in and your lineup and get ready, and then it's a waiting game, until it's time for the parade to start. And so it is nice. Now, I will say, as much as we enjoy videoing it, talking about it, doing play-by-play, so to speak, of the parade as it passes, there's something to be said for riding in it in a nice air-conditioned vehicle. And we're out here along with all, the other people. We've got hundreds, if not thousands of people lined up along the parade route here in Lovington. And for the most part, most of us are out in the sun. There's not much shade along the parade route to watch this parade. A few people here and there have grabbed some shady spots, or we're trying to create a little bit of shade with some umbrellas, as a lot of people are as well. But it's a hot morning, even though it's nice to not be doing this on a Wednesday afternoon at 4 o'clock. That's the traditional date and start time of the Lee County Fair and Rodeo Parade. They're trying something different this year. I think it's going to be successful, and maybe that's how it will be, from now on. Now that the parade has extended, now that the Lee County Fair and Rodeo Parade begins so early, it begins so many days before it traditionally did for so many decades. There's an argument to be made. Hey, a Saturday, that's a day when so many more people are off from work. It's earlier in the day. It's a little cooler temperature-wise for people, especially walking in the parade, standing, even the people watching it. Just comfort level may be a little bit better to start it on the morning. Now, when it finishes up around noon o'clock, it's definitely going to be a hot one. And we have a few clouds to start with this morning, TJ, but I think within a few minutes we're going to be in full sun. Mother Nature is on full send today.
Well, I think so, but we'll be here and trying to stay cool. And just a quick technical note: at some point in the parade, we will probably lose you for just a few minutes. We are on complete battery power, and when you're running cameras and video equipment and cellular equipment and soundboards, it tends to drain our batteries pretty good, so we will probably have to change batteries out. I'm guessing probably here in about 45 minutes or an hour, so you may lose us for just a couple of minutes.
So please just be patient during that time. You may lose video and audio both, but it shouldn't take more than about a minute or so,
I'm thinking a minute or two tops
to change it out, and then for it all to reboot. You're familiar with electronics, and once you lose power or change power, you have to wait for everything to boot back up. So it could be a couple of minutes, and then we'll be right back. Now, before we get any deeper into this, I'll make our big boss really happy and talk about our parade sponsors, the folks who are helping bring this video of our parade possible. And we thank all of our Fair and Rodeo Parade sponsors: Glasheen, Vias, and Enderman, Chapel of Hope, Lee County Electric Co-op, J&J Rentals, Zia Natural Gas Company, Cowboys Corner Feed and Supply, Rent-A-Center, Thriftway and La Tienda, Got Safety, State Farm, Susanna Arvisu Agency, and Hungry Critters. Wow, couldn't do it with all these amazing sponsors and the support of our community as always. I hope that the Saturday parade means that we have even more participation, better participation, maybe even more people lined up to enjoy it and watch it. But remember, our video coverage is live. You're seeing it on Lee County News and Sports YouTube, on HobbsAmerica.com front page. There's a place to click and view, and it's on our Facebook pages.
It's on the Z94 Facebook page.
Z90,
Sorry,
okay.
I had to adjust a headset over
All right,
here.
on the Z94 KZOR Facebook page. That's the one Facebook page it's on. And then afterward, of course, it exists there on Lee County News and Sports YouTube and on the front page at hobbsamerica.com and on Facebook, and you'll be able to click and watch, zoom through, and see certain things or rewatch certain things. Always there are little fun things that happen and surprises, and we hope no big problems. But it usually takes about 2 hours. That's been our experience being in the parade and then videoing the parade is around 2 hours or so. And in fact, we're going to have to get back to Hobbs because all of our stations are involved in live remote broadcasts starting at 1 o'clock. So we think that we'll be done sometime around 12:30 and make that quick trip back to Hobbs and continue our day. This parade is phase one of our day and our busyness on our stations today and our live remotes and our live broadcast for you. So it is a good way to start the Saturday, and we're looking forward to it. There were some, what we thought, and I do hear the sirens, and I believe that's the very beginning of the parade coming up. Was it 9th Street? That's the cross street
yes,
here?
that's 9th Street
9th
now.
Street, I was pretty sure.
Yeah, I moved it over from 7th, I guess, last year.
Right,
and
over
then moved it to 9th.
To 9th. And I hear we thought a while ago that we heard music. It was actually an ice cream vendor, I believe. It was an ice cream truck or a
And here we are
truck.
scrambling to get ready even faster, and it turns out to be an ice cream truck.
Yeah, so
darn capitalism at work.
and it wasn't the start of the parade at all. But now that I hear the sirens coming up and starting to see some reflections along in some of the storefront windows on 9th Street, then I think the parade is actually starting. So we will be able to capture it as from the corner as they turn, and then they go right by us. It's the very beginning of the parade. We catch everybody hopefully at their freshest and their happiest and the most smiles and waves and everything that we've got.
And a new parade route this year, and it, as always, comes down Avenue D right through here. But in the past, it has turned at Main Street and gone down in front of the courthouse. But because of all the construction and everything downtown, it's now going to continue straight down Avenue D and go out to the intersection of Avenue D and Commercial, where it'll then turn over to Chaparral Park.
And we're off, because starting us off as always, we have, of course, our amazing
Sheriff Hilton.
That's right, Sheriff Corey Hilton, absolutely. And it's fitting that, of course, law enforcement is starting this parade. We thank all of our first responders, our law enforcement, our sheriff's office, our Lovington Police Department, our fire departments, Lovington Fire Department, our volunteer fire departments for the area for Knowles and Monument. We thank our Hobbs Fire Department, Hobbs Police Department, all of our members of our community work in law enforcement and in related EMTs, firefighters, our nurses, and our hospitals, and giving out
candy coming.
Candy.
I didn't think they were supposed to do that. Of course, they're the police. I think they can make their own
I think the
rules.
difference is they can't throw it. You're not allowed to toss out. But if he's going around and sort of putting it in people's hands,
that might explain why they've got the four-wheelers out to do that.
Yeah, exactly. That way they can go right up to kids and put candy and other goodies and treats in their hands. So we have more SO. There was the SWAT, the tactical response vehicle that went by a little while ago, and now we do have more SO vehicles, the black and gold, and it looks like swinging around. We're going to have our first float of this 88th annual Lee County Fair and Rodeo Parade. And I'll have to wait and see. It's a county vehicle pulling a trailer. I think it's going to be your Lee County government. It is. I see our Lee County commissioners. I see Lee County manager Mike Gallagher. And yes, I see our commissioners. A couple of those commissioners are outgoing and got newly elected commissioners who are coming in and re-elected commissioner. So we say thank you very much to our Lee County government. They are the ones who budget and fund and provide for all of our events, and particularly our most attended event in Lee County every year is the Lee County Fair and Rodeo. And more Lee County Fair, I believe, royalty. Yes.
And that's Commissioner-elect Kimbrough driving.
Right.
So.
But before it was a truck with some of our fair
And
royalty.
that's Fair and Rodeo
Hey,
board members. There's
that's
Rick.
right. Hey.
Rick Schaap.
Rick Scop, I believe
Scop,
it's Scop.
okay.
And he was a nice.
And he didn't hurt me. I've been saying his name wrong all week.
And there we do. We have our Hispanic heritage royalty, our queens, princesses, and the candidates who are vying. We were fortunate to have all of those ladies on the morning shows.
And I believe the Queen and everybody was crowned last night at the Hispanic Heritage Celebration. Not sure who won it.
Right. Yeah, we did have that. The royalty, all the candidates were in on our morning shows this last week, and we're happy to have them in. So thank you very much. And, of course, as I think they're going in a very an order that makes a lot of sense. Hey, it's the Boy Scouts.
Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts.
That's
yeah.
right. Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts. You were a Boy Scout, is that right?
I was, and a Cub Scout,
and a Cub
too.
Scout, yeah. So, again, these youth leadership organizations like that, as well as 4-H, FFA, and so forth, I think they are a very important part of our communities. And it's the Lovington football team, multiple state championship football team. We have a new head coach
And
this
there's
year.
Coach Bailey on the back
Coach
of the bus.
Bailey. He's been an assistant coach for many years and ready to take over the program from outgoing Coach Gonzalez.
3 weeks
So,
from now.
Yeah,
Hard to believe.
this is.
Opening the season against Hobbs.
And we have also Lovington Cheer, and they are state champions as well. Or is
I
this
think that's volleyball.
a team? Okay, that's not the cheer. This is a team and volleyball team, and we're very happy to cover them as well, and to have had over the last several seasons to have had their volleyball matches on the air, just as we have with football and basketball, baseball, softball. And so Lovington Soccer, again, that's a state championship team and program that you're looking at. I know that they've reloaded and rebuilt, and so soccer has become a very big thing. Hobbs and Lovington already with some great programs and some state championships. Looking forward to it. And there we go with our cheer, and they are state champions in cheer as well. So congratulations to our Lovington cheer squads. Spirit squads and the sport of spirit. And then we have the Lovington girls soccer team. By the way, a big shout out and thank you to all of the companies, the individuals who have volunteered their trucks, their trailers. And they have had to get this all organized and ready, using a lot of gas to go through the parade as well. And we appreciate all the folks who have stepped up and said, hey, I want to help, and I want to drive a truck and drag a float, through the parade, and let's get this done. And yeah. It takes a lot of people to create a successful parade. And now we have Taylor. This is Taylor Middle School, TMS, Taylor Middle School of Lovington. So you're seeing a lot of blue and white today. And I'm impressed with how neat and tidy and organized everybody looks and on these floats. And they definitely know that there are tons of pictures, photos, snaps, pics being taken, floating and shooting around X, Twitter, Instagram, and of course Facebook. Lots of videos going too for parents and grandparents and friends and family of those who are in the parades. You and I have both grown up going to parades, but also being in parades for a variety of reasons, with band, a lot of times, band and sports and so forth.
Band and sports and work.
And work, that's right.
A lot of parades.
I would say I have been in more parades than I have actually watched.
Would
that be true for you?
I would say that would be true for me,
Yeah.
yes.
And of course, as with every parade, at certain points, things slow up and stop for different things.
And I think we may be waiting for one of the marching bands too.
Could
they normally
they join the parade.
Yeah, they join the parade down the
further,
park, further down Avenue D.
A little farther down the
D.
parade route, and a lot of times they will stop, and they do this in Hobbs as well. A lot of times, depending on which route the parades are taking, but they will pause the parade to let a band enter from a side street, and that's what's going on here. Is they're pausing. I would imagine they're starting with Lovington High School. band. I would imagine that's the first band that's going to be joining the parade in progress and marching into their place. It also helps keep the young people from having to march quite so far to the end of the parade route, which, as you mentioned, is different this year.
Yeah, I was going to say, from where the lineup traditionally has been over at Wildcat Stadium, and I think they've always pretty much merged them in down at the little park
around
down there. But
yeah.
With the side streets here in Lovington and then coming up from Wildcat Stadium or thereabouts.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that probably knocks a mile off of it in this heat. And,
yeah, absolutely.
you were in band, I was in band, we marched. And
oh, yeah.
You get over about 2 miles and it's like, oh, just make it stop.
Exactly. You think, step by step, even at a young age when you feel you have youth and energy going for you, these hot parades carrying an instrument and playing an instrument at times, it's it takes a lot out of you, even for the young and the fit. And there we have more law enforcement and first responder.
Yeah, Lee County Environmental Division.
Yeah, more
and fire. Yeah.
Yep, and so we have some big furry friends as well.
They're probably a little hot today.
I imagine those. Although I think there are little fans inside. You have little fans inside those big heads when you're wearing a costume like that. It's got to help a little bit at least. So.
I would think so.
Yeah. So thank you again. This is the the 88th annual Lee County Fair and Rodeo Parade in Lovington. We're on West Avenue D. And that float, I'm not sure who is on that. That's a flatbed truck. And it may be, I think it might be Texas Roadhouse. I'm not sure. It looks like on the other side, it looked like their mascot for Texas Roadhouse. I may be wrong. This is another team, and it looks like it's the cheer. It's gonna be the Hobbs Lady Eagle cheer squads, and it's not just ladies. There are guys in the spirit program for the cheer programs for both Lovington and Hobbs. So championship cheer and spirit squads there. And we have Permian
Heiser
Hornets in a Permian truck. So again, thank you very much. Some of the car dealerships donating the use of vehicles through the parade as well, and I know that's always appreciated. Some of the groups, the organizations definitely look for those opportunities, and thanks to our local car dealerships for that. And we have
something we can't say on the air.
Oh, okay, that's right. Okay, so it's
a local shop. Let's just put it that way.
A local business, a local shop. And there is royalty. I believe that may be Miss Rodeo, New Mexico.
I believe that is correct.
I think so. And so she's going to be very visible and front and center at the Lee County Fair and Rodeo, especially during the rodeo events. And we have the bears. Highland, and I was a Highland bear. It's green and white usually, though. It's the Highland colors were.
I don't know. A lot of schools now.
So that may be,
I know back at I say at Holmes Hobbs, but Big Spring, where I'm from, about 10 years ago, they changed all the middle schools and the elementary schools and everything colors to the main color of the school. So that may be something they're doing here.
Could be the new thing is just black and gold. Everything is black and gold to match the Eagles, and that. Again,
local
another youth
volleyball club.
I think so. Vortex volleyball. So, and then we have a team volleyball club. There's a volleyball club. All right. So, again, some of these clubs and teams will serve as feeder programs to the school athletics, and it helps keep the kids active and fit throughout the year in non-competition seasons, and competing, give them a chance to travel and compete as well. So, and some people like that concept, and then there are others who don't like that concept. We're not going to take a side. We're going to say they're out there, they exist. The young people who are participating obviously are enjoying it, so they look like they are, and we say hello, yes, thank you, waving at everybody. And we have another, it looks like a team. This may be another volleyball club, I believe.
I believe so.
Right, a lot of volleyball clubs, wow. we want to thank our sponsors again for the coverage of this, allowing for us to be here and cover this Fair and Rodeo Parade. Hungry Critters, State Farm Susanna Arvisu Agency, Got Safety, Thriftway and La Tienda, Rent-A-Center, Cowboys Corner Feed and Supply, Zia Natural Gas Company, J&J Rentals, Lee County Electric Co-op, Chapel of Hope, and Glasheen, Vias, and Enderman. We thank you. And that looks like another, it's Prodigy Volleyball Club. So, wow. You know, I think it's a really good thing that you've got this much interest, because some of these programs, sometimes, you know, in high school, with all the other sports sort of bleeding student athletes off of this, you know, I mean, there's so many choices now. You can be in cheer and spirit, and you can do a number of things. Sometimes programs need more more students coming up interested in a sport and already being able to play it, even if it's been through the summer clubs. And sometimes that's very important to get some students interested in and get them a little introduced into a sport and get them some experience before they hit the high school level and are trying out to make a team, whether it's JV, varsity, or a C team. So I think in a way it's good to see a lot of interest in a particular sport, whether it's soccer, volleyball, one of the non-main sports. When you think about the big three, it's usually football, basketball, baseball. And to get females interested and active in a sport at a young age so that they can tell, is this something I want to do? Is this something I'm good at doing? Is this something I can see myself playing in high school, playing on a team? I think that's where these clubs are slot in and are fitted in, and I think that they do that very well. We're stopping for a cheer. Again, there may be a stoppage to allow another marching band or another parade entry down up from the parade route where we are, and so it seems like a good time to stop with a cheer. This is THS's Taylor. It's Tatum High School. Yeah, not Taylor. I thought there's a Taylor Middle School in Lovington, and but I think they're blue and white, of course. This is Tatum High School, the Coyotes, and they were stopping for a cheer. And of course, you've got the Coyote, the Coyote mascot dancing around in the back of the truck as well. So good job, the Tatum Cheer Squad.
Of course, you can catch Tatum Sports all season long. HobbsAmerica.com, Tatum Sports YouTube, starting here in just 3 weeks, too.
And they're followed by Tatum football. So I think a couple of football players. Don't have the whole team here, but we've got.
Rest of them may be showing this morning.
I was going to say, we've got the Lee County Fair and Rodeo going, and so many of the Tatum students are involved in 4-H and FFA, and they're loading in animals, showing animals. Today is the horse show. And, this may be all the students that were available to be in the parade that weren't actually involved in something at the fairgrounds. So hats off to Tatum. And those Tatum kids, they do it all. They play a lot of sports. They're involved. They're raising animals, feeding animals, showing animals. They're up before daylight, working on, at their homes and on their farms and ranches, and then school, and then all of the extracurriculars, the sports. And they're good students. For the most part, you get some very excellent academics come out of Tatum. So hats off the Tatum kids. Of course, it's we've got a county full of great schools, great programs, great students and organizations. But it's with Tatum right there in front of us, good time to say, good job, Tatum.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And before that, Elite, we have Elite, looks like Elite Real Estate.
Yep.
Yeah, the Elite Real Estate crew. So, hey, guys and gals. And right in front of that was like a little Miss Princess, some of the younger pageants that involve the little Prince Charming and the Princess and those kinds of pageants and young people. And I think they were represented in that pickup load. And this is...
I think it's just a patriotic float.
Okay, just a Lee County, go Lee County, red, white, and blue. I believe it's probably Republican. I think it's probably a Republican Party float, or I
Maybe.
I think so. I think it may be Lee County Republicans or so. And then we have a
Brito's Western Wear.
Western Wear, and
one of our sponsors
exactly.
at the fair on our sister station, KPZA.
Right, and I know that they are having a liquidation. Their store is still open, by the way. The store is open, and they are going to stay open until they sell everything. I think even the light fixtures and the clothing racks and
knowing Ms.
shelves.
Brito, when
right.
she says everything, she's not closed until
Exactly.
everything's gone.
So they're having a huge liquidation sale at Brito's Western Wear here in Lovington. So remember that. Of course, during Fair and Rodeo Week, that sends a lot of people shopping for certain things that sometimes you only buy once a year, or you certainly go and get stocked up on that. We also then had some more cheer squads from Hobbs. I see the black and the gold. So another cheer squad or part of that. Okay, Houston Middle School. So yes, I think that what you said a minute ago about the colors is absolutely right. Is that they have switched over, and instead of Houston, Highland was green, Houston was red, Heiser was blue, and that's how it was for decades. And now, of course, things change, and that's one of those things that I guess in schools across the country, that's the movement now, is to just get all of the school colors the same as whatever your high school colors and mascot are. That's what your
the thinking behind it is to bring more unity to the community and to the schools. That way, when you get them to the freshman and high school level, it's not like, oh, well, I played here and you played there, so we can't be friends. And no,
right. It's a little more instead of competition between the schools and
at the younger levels.
At the younger levels, okay. I don't think there's anything wrong with competition, by the way, and we live in a society where it's capitalism, and there's competition, and competition usually makes you stronger. But we're not saying there's not competition anymore. It's just that it's a more of a friendly competition, and a knowledge that at a certain point you merge together and you're one, instead of separate entities, separate elementary schools and separate middle schools, that you get ready and have that mentality to blend and to be unified as one. But competition is never a bad thing. Lee County Legends, Special Olympics, amazing. As they passed by, we were waving. We weren't talking about them yet, but a very nice float for Special Olympics. And as a sibling, my brother is a special needs person. And when he was in school, he was able to go to school till the age of 21 when he was at Booker T. Washington School, when it was special ed only. He did participate for a couple of years. He was able to go out with help and participate in Special Olympics. So, soft spot in my heart for them.
No, absolutely. They do a fantastic job, a wonderful program to make sure that everybody gets the opportunity to not only compete but also to participate. So, fantastic program, and Lee County does it extremely well.
And we had more royalty, another float full of crowns, girls in sashes and crowns and titles. And then more floats again, blue and white.
Teen Court.
Teen Court, excellent. So again, more great organizations that promote thinking, learning, organization, leadership, all of those skills, that you need and will use once you graduate from high school and move on into life.
And I have just received confirmation that, yes, all of the middle schools have changed their colors to black and gold.
Excellent.
So
okay.
Thank you, Evie. Back keeping an eye on your own things.
Right.
Evie and Tiff and now Manuel.
Yeah.
Welcome to the team.
And she has a son, Xavier, who is, of course, goes in school, going through school, so she knows as a mom. And so a shout out to him. We had more Lee County royalty. And now we have horses, and
I believe
it looks
this
like
is another one. I believe this is maybe the Sweetheart candidate, Hispanic Heritage Sweetheart.
Okay. And a couple of folks riding horses in support. Right behind that truck, and we have Miss Turquoise, New Mexico.
From the Turquoise Rodeo Circuit.
Right. So she is a competitor. And then we just have some county folks. I think they're going along, and I think
maybe City of Hobbs.
Or City of Hobbs, think so. Okay.
Yeah, I think maybe there's.
Well, I didn't say Lovington. I just said city, but I think we have some more either county or city personnel. And we have, it looks like, I'm not sure, we have a
City of Hobbs Parks and Rec.
Yeah, City of Hobbs Parks and Rec.
Parks and Open
Open
Spaces
Spaces,
now.
there we go. We do have some, we've had some reorganization and renaming and branding, so forth. So, yeah, and they do an amazing job. We have facilities, in our community that are the envy of a lot of other communities larger than ours. So the time, the commitment, the budgeting, the leadership, the management, all of that, the hard work, it does not go unnoticed, and it shows in our city. It doesn't mean we're perfect, but it certainly means that we have a lot of advantages and opportunities to enjoy our city and our facilities so much, and it's always great. So we
a couple of classic cars from Nowell Pharmacy.
Hey, Nowell Pharmacy. Yeah.
Old F-100 and an old International Harvester.
I'm glad you are the auto guru, the car guru, and so I'm happy. I'm happy that
I
you
think
know
that,
things
I think
don't
that's
about
called the
those.
Harvester. It's an International. It's bigger than the Scout. I
Okay.
actually partially learned how to drive in an old International Scout. But
Okay. Was it a standard or was
Yes,
it
it
stick
was.
shift? It was stick shift. Oh my goodness. Okay. And we have other floats and businesses represented, some organizations, and now we have the Shriners, and they're always a lot of fun in their little miniature cars, and they're wearing their Shriner hats, and it wouldn't be a parade without Shriners, right?
and I noticed they finally got the car fixed that we ran into about 10 years ago. So
Oh my goodness.
he swerved in front of us
Oh
when he
my
shouldn't
gosh.
have.
Yeah. Oh my. So Lee County Shrine Club officially is, I think, what they called, and they're just known as Shriners. We call them Shriners. Some kids giving them a high five. That's really sweet. That was really cool. And Lee County Shrine Club, help us help the children. They do an awful lot of good things for the kids. And of course, there's the famous Shriners Hospital that provides medical care, and so it's a good organization. And it looks like this is a series of Serve Pro trucks.
Of course, the local Serve Pro folks really involved with the Toys for Tots program,
Yes,
which we
absolutely.
did this past year.
They were amazing. Cleaning, restoration, construction, Carlsbad and Hobbs. And you see the phone numbers and the website there as they're shown on the video, so you can pursue that if you like. And here we have the Republican Party of Lee County. This is the actual formal organization float, and it's a big one with a lot of our with some of our
Candidates and
folks,
elected
yep,
folks.
and elected folks who have already been elected, and then just members of the party, people who are very involved. And you've got some county folks. I see, yes, there you go. There's Tyson Pierce. Tyson is our guest on Media Meeting tomorrow morning, by the way. Tyson took time and sat down with me for about a 40-minute media meeting.
Tyson and I see Larry Scott up there.
That's Tyson, his wife, and one of his kids, and maybe some other kids too. He's got a blended family, and he talked about being a second generation. His dad, Tom Pierce, famously a Lee County commissioner, very, very much a supporter and leader in Lee County politics and Lee County government, and then as a kid, Tyson had animals and showed animals, and now his kids are showing animals, and so we talked about that, and it was really a lot of good information. So listen for that media meeting tomorrow morning, and you can always see it by clicking the link on hobbsamerica.com. So then we have Lee County State Bank. Of course, always very involved in the community. They sponsor a number of things and advertise with us as well. Lee County State Bank, happy to see you. We also have United Realty, and they've got a very sharp car. They've got a number. We have a fleet.
They've got a whole parade by themselves.
It's a fleet, the United Realty folks, and we say hello and thank you to Laura and Rodney Davis and their amazing team. And they're so active in the community, and they do a lot of things. They're very, very careful to want to give back to the community, and that helps them survive, thrive, and continue to be a very successful realty business in Lee County, not just Hobbs, but Lee County. And is it a classic car or just a
Corvette Car Club?
The Corvette Car Club. There we go. And I don't know. We know that Connie Sevier with Western States Insurance had, I don't know if she still owns the Corvette or not, but I know for years that she and Gary Sevier, of course, former longtime employee of ours, uh, went through the parade. They had a Corvette, and she was a part of this Corvette club. So I don't know that we'll see her or a car, but we know that she was a big part of that. Western States Insurance, of course, another longtime sponsor of sports and advertiser with us, and we say thank you very much to Connie as well. And what a treat it is to see all these Corvettes. I don't know, did you ever own a Corvette in all the sports cars you had?
I did not.
You did not have a Corvette. All right.
Even as a young man, it was too hard to get in and out of them, and the insurance was too high. So
yeah, I never.
And I really just liked my Trans Am.
You liked your Trans Am,
more,
and
so.
see, I never owned a Corvette. I've never owned a sports car. I did have a high school boyfriend who had a Trans Am, and so Corvette. I think I've ridden in a Corvette like once or twice in my life. I've been in a Corvette once or twice, and of course it's a vehicle like none other, and people who own Corvettes are incredibly loyal and proud of their Corvettes, and so you see a lot of our Corvette club is pretty big and pretty active in Lee County. A lot of them here, so there's a real variety in terms of body styles and years. And
most of them looks like
cool.
C5s, a few C4s. Don't see anything earlier than that, like the Stingrays, the second generation. But
yeah, very cool.
some of those older ones are getting as hard to find as hen's teeth. One thing about a Corvette is they are not made out of metal. Well, the frames and things are, but the bodies are actually fiberglass.
Okay, so they're a little lighter.
And a lot harder to fix.
Thanks again to our sponsors. Probably a really good time to run down our sponsors and say thank you very much to Glasheen, Vyas, and Enderman, to Chapel of Hope, to Lee County Electric Co-op, to J&J Rentals, to Zia Natural Gas Company, Cowboys Corner Feed and Supply, to Rent a Center, to Thriftway and La Tienda, to Got Safety, to State Farm Susana Arvisu Agency, and to Hungry Critters. We couldn't do this parade without all of their sponsors and the support that we get from all of them, so thank you. And then we have, some of these are also sponsors of our nightly broadcasts at the Lee County Fair and Rodeo from our booth in Zia, the Zia building, the exhibit building. Some of them are also at that, and then we have other great sponsors who pick that up and are with us for that as well. Cassis Enterprises with Crave, Cookies Without Limits, and they are actually having they had their ribbon cutting and grand opening earlier this morning. They are having a grand opening event all day. I'll be leaving the parade, going back to Hobbs and going over to Crave at 312 West Navajo for a 3-hour live broadcast from 1 to 4 this afternoon that will be not only on, it'll be on Kix 103 and KZOR, and our sister station La Seta, KPZA, is there right now broadcasting live from Crave. So thank you.
A lot going on in the county today.
Absolutely. And then we have some more vehicles, and I think just
from a local business,
from
Paletta
local
Bar.
businesses. Yes, the Paletta Bar. I remember seeing them in the parade last year. And then we have more classic cars. This is another car club, I do believe. I don't know what this one's called. We may see a sign on one of them, but this is a classic car parade, a classic car club. What is this? Do you know what that?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that is.
That looks like from the 1940s, maybe.
I'm guessing probably
like
40s
or early 50s. I think it's
probably
like
late
40s.
40s. Yeah.
And I can't tell.
I'm not sure what that is.
It
may be a Plymouth.
Okay.
I don't swear to that, so don't hold me to it.
And then there's a classic pickup truck.
Good old square box Chevy.
Yep. And then we have a Lee County
Humane Society,
which is awesome. Again, we have a taller furry friend who's going to walk up to some of our folks sitting around us watching the parade. And what do you think that one is? The truck was what? A Chevrolet?
The truck's a box type Chevy. So,
okay.
And I think maybe that may be a Ford. An older Ford.
And then we have our
Monument
fire
Fire,
departments. Yeah, our fire department. So, and now Rivas Real Estate. And there we have, there's
us.
Monica with all of our New Walmart stations represented. We have, of course, KZUR, Kicks 103. We have Cool 95.7, Eagle 100.5, and, of course, KPZA. And then I think this is it. We have law enforcement, state police bringing up, I think this is the last of the parade. As we started off with the
40 minutes.
Wow, we started off with the sheriff's office, and we're ending up with New Mexico State Police. And, of course, we thank our law enforcement at every level and our first responders for the work they do. And we thank our good officers for their service and protection.
And I'm pretty sure that's a police issue Harley.
Oh, it's a Harley. Wow. And the other one is too, matching Harleys. Wow.
Most police departments do use Harley Davidsons.
Okay.
Not all, but most.
Because of their dependability, reliability, and so forth?
Dependability, reliability, and American made.
Okay, and American made. Very good. So thank you again. We have.
We've still got more to come. I don't think this is it.
A couple of. We have more. Okay, this is good. I'm glad it's not over. It just seemed like a lot of times when they have the more law enforcement coming in, that it's the very, very end of the parade, and maybe it is winding down. Wow, our state police motorcycle officers are giving us quite the show here. Well, they do have motorcycle rodeos, and they may have competition.
I bet they do, yeah.
That these guys are in, and you
I actually believe that's our Hobbs
Is that
motorcycle
Hobbs
guys.
motorcycle? Yeah. Okay. Hobbs police. We had state police and then Hobbs police. And you're right, I think that is Hobbs police. So yeah, we don't want to short anybody. It's just that sometimes it's not as apparent right at the beginning, and I'm trying to see certain things, try to figure things out. But yeah, I think these are Hobbs motorcycle patrolmen officers. They know their vehicles, and man, they're very maneuverable and really good on them.
And even trying to do that on my Sportster, I would have already been in the street about 3 times by now.
Yeah, you owned and rode a motorcycle for several years. Police service aid, and City of Hobbs police. Then animal control, man, they do they are in code enforcement, both of those divisions. I tell you what, thank you very much to those folks. Those are tough jobs, and they go underappreciated a lot of times, just the amount of time and effort they have to take with their jobs. That's probably true of all of our law enforcement. Hobbs Fire Department, yeah, with the big truck. L1. And you talk about takes drivers from those big trucks have to be specially trained. They have to be strong, physically strong individuals, and that's a lot of truck to handle. And we say thank you to all of our Hobbs Fire Department, EMS, Fire Marshal's Office, law enforcement. You bet. They are our arson unit and investigators. You bet. Hey. And a lot of these guys will take their time and come over, and I see several guys who have been with us on our who have interviewed, been on our morning shows, been on meeting, and taking the time to talk about who they are and what they do, and give heads up to people about safety issues. So thank you very much to all those guys. We have some big trucks.
Petroplex acidizing.
These are what?
Petroplex acidizing.
Petroplex acidizing. Thank you. A couple of sharp-looking trucks, very clean, shiny, gray. I'm sure that somebody, more than one person, has been out shining up those trucks. All of the trucks and vehicles that were featured in the parade today required a lot of special time inside and out to get them spiffed up, looking good. And of course, you don't want breakdowns. They've got to be mechanically sound. I have been a part of a few parades where there's been a mechanical breakdown. It
is not fun.
No, it's not. This one seems to be moving fine. And again, we have another fire department. This looks like Knowles, and that's a volunteer fire department. Boy, I tell you what, I lived for about 5 years when I was growing up born in Hobbs, moved to Loving. My dad worked in potash mines over there and around Carlsbad, between Carlsbad and Hobbs. Lived in Loving when it was a speck. It's a metropolis compared to what it was when I was a kid. And my dad was a part of the Loving Volunteer Fire Department. And boy, I tell you, early on, growing up, there were some fires. Dad helped, and our house, my mom made coffee. I remember a fire in the neighborhood where she brewed pot after pot after pot of coffee. And the firefighters took breaks and came in and got water and coffee and went back out. And the volunteer fire departments are very important parts of the safety in our communities. And with so much of Lee County being rural, outside of incorporated areas,
Maljamar and
it's
Monument
very much
there too.
Yep, Monument Volunteer Fire Department right after Knowles.
And Maljamar.
And Maljamar, thank you very much. Don't want to leave anybody out because all of these are very important. Again, you get very much outside of a town, and 10, 15, 20 miles can make a huge difference in the response and being able to get to a fire in time to really try to stop it and keep it from damaging structures and hurting people as well. So our emergency responders, be they from actual incorporated cities and communities and county or volunteer, very, very important. Town of Tatum, EMS and fire department, very important again. And we're lucky. We're able to have a lot of tax money in our community, and most of our communities, have good, are able to budget and spend money on not just facilities, but equipment and vehicles and salaries for people to be able to give us good emergency response capabilities. And we say thank you to all of the government leadership that provide that. And of course, that's your tax dollars at work right there. So thanks to property owners, people who shop and buy taxes and keep our community strong, shop locally, keep our taxes working back in that cycle of the dollar that cycles around and helps keep us all strong, keeps us employed and making money, spending money, earning money, paying taxes, and seeing it come back to help us in all of our communities. There is an innovation.
It's Lee County Electric Cooperative.
Lee County Electric Co-op, again, a long-time company serving the community and also very involved in our community as well. They do advertise, they support, they sponsor. They're everywhere, as so many of our businesses are. And this is emergency management, incident command. And boy, you've got to be able to have the vehicles, the communications set up. By the way, thanks to our communications in law enforcement, that's a crucial part of response and being able to keep our communities safer. So Lee County Communications Authority, thank you very much. We have J&M Rentals.
And I believe this is the end.
Now, maybe.
Or maybe not.
And
I think this may be the
Street Department. Okay, this is the very end of this parade. It's going to clock in at under an hour.
Yeah, about 48
today.
minutes.
Wow,
looks like.
under an hour. So, whew. Having it on a Saturday, one thing about this is we don't have quite as much participation with some of our visiting politicians who come in time to, go to a night or two of our fair and rodeo, and so that might be an area that we not seeing as much participation in, but I think for the most part we were able to see and saw a fairly long parade. Not a lot of animals. I noticed that we didn't have
I think they were having the ride in this morning. We passed them coming up on the Lovington Highway from Hobbs this morning.
So there are a few things maybe. But I felt like it was a pretty good parade and certainly worth the time. It's came in at just under an hour, and our clouds came back over and helped keep things a little bit shadier and cooler for everybody. So all in all, I think it's been a pretty good experience, and we hope that you've enjoyed watching, and maybe you turned the sound down and you didn't listen to us and you wanted to watch for yourself, and maybe you enjoyed some of our chatter as we identified the participants in the parade. We say thank you again to all of our sponsors: Glasheen, Vyas, and Enderman, Chapel of Hope, Lee County Electric Co-op, J&J Rentals, Zia Natural Gas Company, Cowboys Corner Feed and Supply, Rent-A-Center, Thriftway and La Tienda, Got Safety, State Farm Susanna Arvisu Agency, and Hungry Critters. Thank you very, very much. Thanks for all the support at the station from management, sales, business, office, and of course in production. We say thank you very much on the programming side, for folks. This is one of those events where we don't need folks at the station, doing things other than just monitoring to tell us we have video and audio. We do appreciate that. So thanks to Evie Stuber, Tiv Stuber,
and Manuel,
and yes,
our new guy.
We have a new guy, Manuel. So thank you very much. Who's training and hopefully going to be a happy, productive member of our team. So thank you so much. Thank you, TJ Miracle. Any final thoughts or words about today's Lee County Fair and Rodeo Parade?
Just another wonderful parade, and great that everybody came out. And if you couldn't be here, of course, you could watch it. And if you want to see it again, of course, we'll be available, HobbsAmerica.com. and the Lee County News and Sports YouTube channel.
So this has been another presentation of Nowalmark Digital, and I think the Saturday parade was a good thing. We'll see if they go back to a Wednesday afternoon parade, or if this continues. This now starts a new tradition on Saturday morning. I think it went well. I enjoyed it. Enjoyed it being a little cooler and a little bit shorter. And it was still a very nice parade. We thank all the participants, people who took their time and effort to present a very nice parade for all of us to watch. So thank you very much. We are going to close things out to our sponsors, and on behalf of for TJ Miracle, I'm Dawn Morgan. Thank you for watching and listening and enjoying our coverage of the 88th Annual Lee County Fair and Rodeo Parade in